That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities. So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Wednesday Show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday Show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry DeMantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
well, give up then.
No.
Jesus.
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities. So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry DeMantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
Yeah, but yeah,
No.
Jesus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder if this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities. So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry Diamantis Down Under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
Yeah, but yeah.
No.
Jeepers!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities. So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry Diamantis Down Under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeebus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities. So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry Diamantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeebus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities. So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry DeMantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeebus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities.
So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry Diamantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeebus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities.
So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry DeMantis Down Under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jesus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder if this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities.
So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry DeMantis Down Under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeebus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities.
So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry DeMantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeebus!
That was my first moment of real doubt. When I started to wonder, this whole thing was a mistake. So then I went back to my office. And there was a new casualty list waiting for me. People are dying out there every day. Entire worlds are struggling for their freedom. And here I am, still worrying about the finer points of morality. No, I had to keep my eye on the ball, winning the war, stopping the bloodshed. Those were the priorities.
So I pushed on, and every time another doubt appeared before me, I just found another way to shove it aside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm usually joined by two of my favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey in Canada and Terry Diamantis down under. You can find us on Rumble every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then we bring in YouTube at 9 p.m. to simulcast on YouTube as well. Hope you have time to stop by.
I feel like I've lost my purpose now. It's like,
Well, give up then.
No.
Jeepers!
Minions of the Zoo. In space!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Minions of the Zoo in space. I'm your keeper for night, Tyr Alexander, and I'm sorry I double booked, but I'm here with my friends Mitch Nemo,
Yay!
Willard Forge,
Domine. Oh,
uh,
nice requiem.
Genty Maxi
I snuck in.
and Critical. What up, Critical?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
And because Sanguine had a family get together thing, I'm filling in for him tonight. So, yeah. All right. You're joining us, Will?
I'm on my way over right now.
Okay.
All right. Yep, there he is. What
I was
was the
distracted listening to you idiots over on the corner.
Yeah. Frothed
I have
asked
a
me
question.
Yes.
Are you not
Is the ventriloquist
entertained?
the prop comic?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I agree with that.
I'm picking new TF random, and yes.
Right on.
Ventriloquist is a prop comic because the dummy is a prop.
Yeah, that's my
Yes.
yeah. That was my thing.
That is a 100% fact.
But there haven't been really ventriloquists. Like the last relevant one was Jeff Dunham.
Oh, he
Yeah.
is still
There's
funny.
another gal in the UK who does it, and I can't remember her name. But
Technically,
she's not
Randy
very good.
Feltface.
Randy,
is
you're
another
right.
one. He's
Randy Falface is another one. And I love
He's not really a ventriloquist, but he is a puppeteer because he uses a puppet, and it's one puppet, it's one guy.
Well, that's okay. Let's examine that now. Does a ventriloquist use a puppet or a dummy?
Dummy.
A
That's what I'm
ventriloquist.
thinking.
Yes.
A ventriloquist uses a dummy, and
Yes.
a dummy is different than a puppet because a dummy is somebody you have to use your hand to
No,
make the mouth move. You can
alright.
either use a hand or a stick.
All right. No. Okay. A ventriloquist. It's a dummy. The difference between it's still an object. It is that you see the person beside the dummy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say that too. And also,
Yeah.
a puppeteer, you don't see the puppets like Jim Henson, where you don't see any of the actors
Well,
Yeah, they're
holding the
above or below the stage.
But that's not even entirely true itself. That you can it's optional to see the puppeteer. It's not optional to see. Not you have to see the ventriloquist doing his thing. Like
Right.
the whole premise of a ventriloquist is throwing their voice to make it look like they're not talking when they're talking. With a
Yes, that too.
puppeteer, they're not really okay. Well, you know I'm over there talking to the puppet. I'm just doing a funny voice as I talk to the puppet. You know.
Here's another question.
And everybody also
Oh, go on.
everybody also thinks that puppets are alive most of the time. If you're good at it, they'll forget that the person and the puppet are the two different things. If you're really good.
Well, you know what? You can leave a puppet alone in an abandoned house, and they still think they're alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh God, don't do that to me.
Wait a minute. Did you remember the puppet, the one we meat puppet? The short we watched, where the guy became attached to the puppet, and he had to reattach by stuffing himself up his own ass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's stupid as fuck.
He messed me up, Daddy.
I can't even remember the name of the horror I watched the other day. All I remember is the quote, "Benny loves you," and that's all you need to know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the killer puppet.
Yeah.
My favorite doll movie is actually Ted.
What?
I fucking love
Hey,
that movie.
Kid wishes that his Teddy Ruxpin was alive, and
And it actually
Yeah,
is
that's
McFarlane.
a McFarlane film.
yeah, and it comes alive, but it grows up with him.
Yeah, and he
I
gets to
love-
learn out.
There's a part in that film that I absolutely love when they go up to the crosswalk and people walk in front of their car. It's like, hey, why are you
Oh,
guys
they're
dressed
doing
like
the
Star
Vader
Wars?
costumes.
Yeah. Why are you guys dressed like
Yeah,
Star
you're his
Wars? I
boss.
love that
He
question.
hates you.
Hmm.
He tries to kill him.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like if you see someone in a hockey mask, why are you dressed as Friday the 13th?
Hmm.
There's
I
just
do have to
something
say,
about- There's something about the wrongness of how they ask the question that just cracks me up.
Okay.
And then the girl calls him what's it Star Trek. He's like, oh, don't try. Don't even start.
Oh yeah, but you know when the girl says something about Star Trek, they're like, whoa, you know, because she got something wrong. But they're not asking why are you dressed as Darth Vader. They're asking why are you dressed as Star Wars. It's funny.
Yes.
It's just a weird linguistic thing that happens, and it's hilarious.
Like, we got the Nintendos. You're playing the Nintendo right now. No, Mom. I'm not playing the Nintendo. I'm playing the Sega. Yes, the Nintendo. Okay, lady. That's
It's
what that
$5.
is.
Go buy a Star Wars.
Yeah, go buy a Star Wars.
That is just hilarious. I fucking love that movie. Thunder Buddy's for life.
It's so very much what your mother knows about whatever the thing is.
Yes, it really is.
Yes.
Like today's Friday the 13th. All of the big Friday the 13th rights holders have done next to nothing as far as information releases about the new show Crystal Lake that they're going to film. Like they're supposed to start filming in like 2 days or something.
And honestly, this would have been again, like I've been saying for the last couple of days, this is the last Friday the 13th for the year.
Well, not only that, Tyr, in this context, Jason's birthday is June 13th.
Even better.
So you know,
I don't live there near a lake. I should be okay.
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
But,
also, it's funny because.
But
Yeah,
they don't release anything of any real value. Oh, we cast these 3 people as 3 side characters, 2 of which you've never heard of before.
All right, this is giving me no confidence.
Hold on, Tyr. Hold on, Tyr. Let me finish this because it gets so much worse. Then Jason Universe, which is I guess like a marketing arm, whatever. They release. Hey, there's a haunted house experience thing in Orlando, Florida, where they're going to take our new Jason design and use it. Like, all right, that's great for 300 people 1 week out of the year in Florida, in fucking Orlando. Okay, that's not something good for the massive fan base that Friday the 13th has. Meanwhile, Tyr, I think you're about to say something about your confidence.
Yeah, by not doing anything, it's giving me no confidence in the product.
Exactly.
Like
it's like they're selling NFTs.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, we're trying to bury it as much as possible, and hope that nostalgia carries it.
Oh, you missed my entire rant on nostalgia.
The thing is, the people making the Crystal Lake show, they are at work doing stuff, but they should have released something a little more tangible. Even if they had released if they had released 13, just to play with the number, if they had released 13 panels from their what do they call that? A drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
When they make movies, they do a drawing board thing. What is that called?
A storyboard. You're right.
Storyboards. You're right. Yeah, if they had dropped 13 panels from their storyboard on Twitter or something, that would have gotten everyone amped up. That would have been something.
Or you know what?
Oh man, I completely came in the wrong conversation differently because when Tyr said it, I thought he said soy boy, and I'm like, the fuck are we talking about?
No, if they'd have said happy birthday to a Spectre boy, to Mommy loves you, it would have again. It would have been not only
even
great.
Better?
Mitch,
you just gave me a great idea, Tyr. What they should have done.
Mm-hmm.
They should have said, hey, wait, you know, we know we've been kind of quiet about stuff, but in the meantime, there's a lot of fan films you can go watch, and don't even specify fan films by whomever.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, hey, there's a lot of fan films out there you can watch, and some of them are great quality. Go check them out.
Yeah.
while we're working on a new project. They didn't do that.
They get people hyped up and hungry for more.
Well, they're dropping less than breadcrumbs.
You about to say something, Will?
Yeah, so it's Mitch. I dropped two frames from their storyboard on Twitter.
It's not pictures
Did you
of
see
you
'em?
taking a shit, is it?
Oh, that
Oh, so that
mobster
detective
guy that I
guy?
was talking about, Jen.
Kefki is starring.
Oh yeah.
His name is Larry Lawton.
Kefki's actually the new
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Touche.
Jeez, poof, poof, poof.
Gee.
Damn it.
Campers must die for taking her snacks.
Yep. Can't snack a lot.
Tell me she wouldn't kill for that.
Can't snack
I
a
know
lot.
you guys don't
Yeah.
follow. I know you guys don't follow Womp Stomp Films like I do. But meanwhile, you should see all the shit Womp Stomp Films released today. Or they dropped a bunch of shit. They've got an old Nintendo 64 looking video game that they're releasing. Based on Never Hike Alone, but it's they had to change names and do something other than Jason Voorhees, but you know, you can tell by looking that that's the basic idea. It's not Crystal Lake, it's Pearl Pond.
They're
But,
trying to sell it as a product.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but they just couldn't sell it. They can't sell it as a Friday the 13th thing, so they made up something new that's really close, and it's, you know, it's obvious. But they God, they dropped something else too. Oh, they dropped a trailer for the final cut of the Never Hike Alone trilogy.
Okay.
That they're going to release as like a single film. Because they're going to edit it all together and make it as seamless as possible. They've even done some new footage.
Ooh. Can't wait to watch it.
You know, they dropped other things too. They dropped an action figure with different weapons that you can put in his hands. And I think that's actually a limited run thing they're doing. Then they, on the live stream tonight, they revealed one of the people they're working with made a 3D model of their animated version of Ghost Jason.
Okay.
And they use this model to make it like an action figure. They're going to release an action figure for that. And you know, all this stuff they released, Womp Stomp Films right now is at the head of the class for keeping the franchise alive. All the official outlets, they're releasing the air farts that you use to take up space in the bag of chips.
It's giving me no confidence vibes. Womp Stomp Film are passionate and they're fans. Like when you're a fan of something, you want to keep it alive because you love what it is, and you don't want to change too much shit about it. And honestly, I don't have confidence in most studios putting out anything nowadays because
neither do I. It's really hard, man.
Yeah, especially with like big money backing and how everybody and their fucking mother, we got to change it for modern audiences. The people you're trying to
so goddamn much.
But the people you're trying to court aren't the modern audience. The people you're trying to court are the fans.
Yes, and they're like, well, the fans are toxic. Go fuck yourself.
Well, that's the other thing. They don't need, with something like Friday the 13th, or Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, all of these franchises, you don't need to court a modern audience, and here's why.
No,
because I'm part of the existing audience, people my age group in their 50s. And we're still around, and we're still looking for stuff to watch, and we're still looking for reasons to support the product. But not only that, we're taking all those old movies and all those old TV shows and all those old bits of merchandise, and we're showing them to our kids.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to court the modern audience because it already
modern
exists.
audience is still fucking here.
Well, no, it's not even that. The modern audience doesn't exist.
We've already brought them in.
Well, not even that.
The audience you have because they'll grow it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. you cater to the fan. Like you can bring new stuff in. Like I'm not trying to say don't bring new characters in. Bring plenty new characters in. However, don't change it too much. Where oh well, the sensibilities of the old audience saying the show isn't like it used to be. You know?
Well, yeah, you don't turn Star Trek into Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Well, my first response to somebody gaslighting me and telling me I'm toxic because I don't want to spend my money on their crap is to call them a capitalist pig. Because capitalist pig, I have the option of choosing what my money goes towards. And if you're selling me garbage, like, I was a little bit mad about that Lilo Stitch thing. Like, I know it's a completely different subject. I haven't even watched the movie.
It's very much the same subject.
But it's true. Like, they absolutely used parents and nostalgia, and yeah, I do think it was just they just did it so they could sell Stitch toys, and I'm like, then just sell Stitch toys.
Well, not even that. Why not re-release the old movie?
You need a movie or a TV show or something to generate interest in the toys. And you know, I understand you want to sell toys. Yes, sell toys. But without the thing to generate interest in selling the toys won't sell as much. But where they make the mistake is they don't know how to write anymore. And if you can't write,
they've alienated that audience. Yeah, sorry.
Well, they stopped writing people and things that are likable.
Yes.
Yes, they have. Everybody is such an unlikable fucking cunt.
Or they don't get they don't understand what made the. I'll use the example for Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch, the cartoon was about what makes a family a family. Ohana means no one gets left, means family, and family means nobody gets left behind. However, in the new one with new modern sensibilities, oh well, I'm gonna just pawn my responsibility to Lilo as her sister, her big sister, to someone else. Oh, my boyfriend's mother, and I'm gonna go off the couch.
Know.
Yeah.
Oh, and not just that, she barely fucking knew the person.
Yeah, I'm upon my responsibility to my sister and my parents because my life mattered more than helping my sister grow up. You know?
Yep.
She's in the system now.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, fuck her. Yeah, basically the entire time.
Yeah.
Ohana means I don't have to deal with you anymore.
Wait a minute, go ahead.
It was also for stuff in the movie that doesn't really make sense. Like, I could understand, okay, someday you want to be a marine biologist. Bitch, you live in Hawaii. You live in Hawaii.
You can literally go to school in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, go to the
Hawaii
beach
also has
and take notes.
Hawaii has one of the...
Oh, go ahead, Roger.
I said, critical was about to say, it's like Hawaii has one of the best marine biology schools in the country, or in the world, probably.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because where you have easy access to all the marine biology, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But
So it's like leaving to go to California, like leaving Hawaii to go to California to become marine biology makes no sense.
In the original movie, she did not have any hold on, my fucking laptop.
Aspirations.
Like
she didn't have any. She didn't have any
college aspirations.
Yeah, she was an adult.
The aspiration that she had was to take care of her sister because her family basically gone.
See, and I think that's related to the other screenwriting pattern I've noticed and I've mentioned before, is that most of the time all the characters in most cases seem to be just assholes or annoying.
Yes.
Or annoying assholes.
They are.
And where are all the likable characters? You know, the Friday the 13th remake. With two exceptions, everyone was either an asshole or annoying.
Shit, Mitch, I got one better for you. Remember that fan film? His name was Voorhees. Like, no one in that one was fucking likable. Nobody.
Right.
I mean, his name is Jason.
Nowadays, I hate watching movies nowadays.
Thank you.
I hate watching movies. I'm so nervous to watch a movie now. I'm gonna hate every fucking character that comes up.
Right.
Okay, you're annoying. You're annoying.
But
You're an
even then,
asshole. You're a cunt. Everybody sucks.
or you
Yeah,
got
that's
the
why I like
opposite.
watching horror movies. It's like, okay, you can die, you can die, you can die. Yay! Let's kill everybody.
Or you got the opposite,
Oh,
where
indeed.
the likable character is somehow portrayed to be the villain. When they were clearly in the right.
And the most likable character is the fucking villain.
Well, it's not even that they're the likable
Christ, the
character,
movie
but
sucked.
they the one that I'll use Frozen. In the end, the prince from the other nation, or the duke, I think, was turned into the villain just out of nowhere. It makes no sense that he becomes the villain.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
But they had to turn him into the villain because it needed a villain for some odd reason. They couldn't think of a reason why.
Well, that's
or the fact that every
hold on, stop. For that one, it's because Elsa was originally supposed to be the villain, but then when they heard the voice actress sing and created the song for it, they wanted to make her not the villain. And they just didn't have a place to go with.
Anyway.
Because the movie is supposed to be it's supposed to be based off the Snow Queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which the Snow Queen is the villain.
I find it funny that even Deadpool made fun of that. The fact that the song that's used in Frozen isn't even an original song. It's actually Papa, can you hear me?
It's actually what?
It's actually the song Papa, can you hear me? Do you want to build a snowman? Papa, can you hear
No,
me?
that wasn't the big song that made them change their mind. It was Let It Go that made them change their mind.
Oh, that one. I still like the parody of it.
I'm tired of them turning old villains into fucking heroes. I never liked Maleficent. Maleficent, they ruined the essence.
Evil Queen Maleficent, yes.
Yes.
Basically, you go to Maleficent if you just want to see Angelina Jolie dress up in.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see her.
Basically, goth Angelina Jolie.
No, I don't want to see. I don't want to see emaciated goth Angelina Jolie. I want to see I want to see busty Tomb Raider Angelina Jolie as fucking Maleficent, and I want to see her being an evil bitch.
You've hit on the problem, Tyr. You really have. You've hit on the problem, and I've pointed this one out before. When you cast someone like Angelina Jolie as Maleficent, you don't see Maleficent. You see Angelina Jolie. And that's a downside for your movie.
Yeah, that's where the animated thing comes into play of being better, because like almost people knew that, or some people knew that Frozen was supposed to be based on the Snow Queen. It wasn't necessarily based on the Snow Queen, so they were free to change some things of it. But when you take a well-known character, you're like, well, we're gonna make the what if they weren't the villain? What if they're not the bad guy?
But the problem is, even like the whole premise of these stories are they're told to inspire the youth. Yeah, Maleficent was evil. She was the villain. She wasn't wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like the real fucking
okay.
with the fucking
No,
birds.
stop. Yeah, I was about to say that was the actual villain in there, was the three fairies. Because if they wouldn't have said anything, none of the shit would have happened.
So yes, but Maleficent was still was the bad guy. You know,
She wasn't entirely wrong, but she was still evil.
It still was a dick movie.
Well, and everything, she wasn't malevolent. She was just didn't care.
When my mom watched that movie with me, she left that movie thinking that it was like they were implying lesbianism between Maleficent and Aurora.
But
yeah,
that's
I kind of thought the same thing.
But that's kind of what it was. Like when True Love first came. Oh no, it wasn't a love, more like a parental love. Like no, that's not what the kiss meant. And to have her you could have that Maleficent felt like shit. Like all right, fine, and I was kind of a bitch to take out my wrath on the kid. So it shows she was trying to be kinder, but to have her go, oh well.
Well, in all reality, it would have made sense for her to take it out on the kid, considering it was a thing for the king and queen, and the king and queen did not step in to basically tell the other three fairies to shut the fuck up because it wasn't their place to talk.
Yeah.
So by doing so, the king and queen did not go through and hold their court to what it should have been, to where, you know, she was invited and they should have welcomed, when she came, they should have welcomed her and treated her with the
hospitality,
basically dignity and respect she was due. Oh yeah, the hospitality that they were supposed to pay her forward. And the other fairies spoke up when they shouldn't have, and the king and queen didn't been like, hey, this is your place to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's an example. That's a bigger example of the other problem when adapting an existing property for the so-called modern audience.
Modern audience, yeah.
They did it with Star Trek, with Discovery and Strange New Worlds. They
unfortunate.
Star Trek before that, from the inception,
diverse.
The crews of the ships or the space stations or whatever, all the Star Trek stories up until New Trek were professionals. They were experts in their fields, and they went out and utilized their expertise in a spaceship and outer space to do outer space things. But along comes Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And these shows are not showing us professionals. Hey, Beth.
They're not showing us military command either. Like if I'm not military, but if you talk back to your commanding officer during a mission, you're supposed to get reprimanded on the spot, and he's not.
If you talk about your command, if you talk about your commanding officer in any circumstances while you're in the military service, even if you're off duty, you will get pulled over the coals, to say the least.
Yes, raked over.
Not always.
It's called insubordination.
No, because if
you're being disrespectful, yes.
No. Hold on. As someone who was in the military, I actually have first-hand experience of this.
Hold on, you're breaking up.
If you are actually in the right and can prove it, let's say if you are in the right and can prove it, you're going to get a little bit of reprimand for basically being disrespectful, but they're not going to be able to rake you over the coals for it. Now, the next person who does is going to get fucked over, because that punishment always goes harsher on the next person.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's basically what I said. It's about respect, and not respect of the person.
Well,
you're being disrespectful to, but respect of the office he holds.
Okay, that is a whole different discussion for the respect thing, because it's not about respect. It's about being treated as an authority figure.
Well,
like I said, it's respect of the office they hold.
Point being,
no, we're stopping this right here. Being treated like an authority figure is not respect.
No.
Being respectful and conducting yourself in a way of earning of respect is how you should be presenting yourself. But you don't have to respect the position. What you actually technically have to do is render proper customs and courtesies.
Okay.
This is the thing I've had way too much issues with, of like people who are like, well, you're not treating me with the respect. It's like, with respect. It's like, dude, I'm not treating you like an authority figure for you to try to give me basic human decency, to treat me with, to render proper customs and courtesies to lower enlisted that you're supposed to. They're not trash for you to kick around.
Most people don't know the difference between respect and worship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even respect and fear.
Hold on.
Sorry, it was just a major issue I have with a lot of people.
Don't worry.
But my argument
we get
is
things wrong. We get things wrong.
But hold on. My argument essentially is this: like you said, they're not behaving like professionals on that ship. They're not behaving like military. They're not behaving like military officers.
Even Tyr, even
the
military officer thing, because that's more of a discipline thing. But professionalism.
If you're joining us, Batman, we're in 8.
I'm already here.
Professionalism includes discipline, but there are other elements of professionalism as well, and these people are not professionals.
Which show are we on
I'm
about?
not talking about the actors. I'm talking about the characters on a Star Trek Discovery and Strange New Worlds.
Oh, Christ, no. The
Never
amount
mind
of
the military aspect of the discipline and whatnot, because there they fuck it up completely.
Well, even in if you're talking New Trek, even the Kelvin universe.
Yes.
I mean, the way who treats Kirk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
just
disgraceful.
like she'd have never. You wouldn't get away with shit like that. Shit.
No. She
Again,
shouldn't even. Her and Spock shouldn't even be having a relationship. I believe that's against regulations.
It's you're dating a subordinate and conflict of interest. You are technically her boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like in all the CW in the CW Stupid Girl where General Lane has his daughter as his aide. She wouldn't be serving with him. She's his daughter.
She couldn't be nowhere near him because again, that's ethical and
conflict of interest.
Yep.
Shit. You can't. All right. So at my job, there was a married couple. They were openly married. One was a lead, which is essentially like a mid-level supervisor position.
Okay, I before you go on, Tyr, I have to make the joke in that whole thing. So they were openly married. So how does one be closetedly married?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that does happen. But yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, I was resisting. You're like they're openly married, and I'm like, so as opposed to being.
I'm glad you said the joke and not me.
Well, they used to walk around with it.
Openly black.
Yes.
They used to walk around with their marriage certificate, emblazoned on a T-shirt.
No, but the thing I want to bring up is that they couldn't be on the checkpoint together. Like he could not be her subordinate. Like they had to be on separate checkpoints. And there was another a parent and child that worked together. He could not be in any station his mother was because technically she outranked him.
Like, yeah, depending on where you work, the whole thing of like following the chain of command and whatnot. Because like, I've had it where my dad was my boss, but we could deal with it because, well,
family members are properly. Kind of different. I think.
No, it's
Nope.
Yeah, it still falls in the whole ethics things of that you're more likely to show favoritism and bend the rules in ways that you wouldn't for a regular person.
Hell,
yeah, and if it's a military and let's say it's in a conflict zone, you're more likely to put your family members or in safe jobs and put people at risk who probably shouldn't be at risk.
There was an episode with remember the episode where they were on the planet with the Houdinis and whatnot, and Nog gets fucking injured, and Quark goes, "If it was Jake, you wouldn't have sent him out there," and he goes, "If it was Jake, he wouldn't even be here."
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake's not in Starfleet.
You know.
Yes, like, go back to the discipline thing. Yeah, like you can joke around and shit, but you have to like. That's what we called it, was like learn how to play the game. Like.
Yes.
So for most of what Star Trek would be is they'd actually have to like follow the render propers or customs and courtesies because there's too many different ranks in what could be seen by like Starfleet High Command. But like once you're done with shift, behind closed doors, you could joke around, but you also had to understand where the line was you weren't supposed to cross.
I mean, you had that with the Kirk Spock McCoy relationship. They were friends, but only up to a point, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's something else in Strange New World that they get wrong. Pike is buddy with his crew. He shouldn't be. I mean, yeah, he can be friendly. He can have that same relationship that Kirk and Spock and McCoy had, but not the way they do on Strange New Worlds.
He can be cordial, but if he gives you a command, he gave you a command, and you need to shut the fuck up and do what he says.
Yeah. Well, on Strange New Worlds, the biggest sin is that when they run into a situation and Pike starts talking, the lady crew members just keep talking over him.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say Let's say you can usually still talk while after you've gotten a command. Just like I've had several NCOs above me and whatnot. It's like I can give him it's like, have him go do something that he's not going to want to do. He's going to bitch while he does it, but he's going to do it.
But see, that's
like I don't care if you bitch while you work, as long as you do your job.
Look, I got that same relationship with my bosses. My boss tell me to do something, I'm bitching as I go do it, but I'm going to do it. They know it's all fucking bluster and talk. However, this isn't like a military situation. If say the commander gave you a command like, I want you to shoot that gun, why the fuck got me shooting that gun? Stop your bitching and do what I fucking said.
Yeah.
He's also not. You're also not going to backchat your boss, are you?
No.
Plus, the way they speak to Pike, no, I'm sorry, the way they write, the way they speak to Pike, it's like they forget that Pike is the captain and he probably has a body of experience that his lieutenants do not have.
No, probably about it.
But they're like, oh no, she's the weapons officer, so she knows more about weapons than Pike.
The other thing that makes me...
But he's going to know things through experience about how to deploy them that she won't.
Or tactics.
Yeah. He'll have been a weapons officer at some point in his career himself.
Probably.
Well, another thing that makes me laugh about Strange New Worlds is, apart from the guest stars, the only people you ever see on that ship are the main cast.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, even in sickbay, I mean, not always, but a lot of times in the original series, for example, there was at least a couple of people in the background in sickbay who were supposed to be like being treated for whatever.
Yeah, for Romulan jock itch or something.
Yeah, you never see any of that in Strange New World. Sickbay is empty.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because they blow all the money on everything else.
Or they don't understand that it takes a ship more people than the bridge crew to run the fucking ship.
Yeah. Well, you even had a more.
They don't have the money to put people to hire extras.
I doubt it's that
they blow it on people's salaries, and I'm not talking about the actors either.
I doubt it's that because
salaries, it's going to my friend owns an FX house. We're going to use them.
I doubt it's that because even in the lack of discovery, you had extras walking the corridors or being in sickbay and shit.
I didn't watch it long enough to make a judgment on that because I already knew.
I dislike the interpersonal. All right, so it was I think it was like a little short where the guy was talking and she was cutting him off and he was trying to explain and somehow he got swallowed by a mass of fucking tribbles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The short trek.
Yeah, like you're his commanding officer and you are essentially, oh, you're a fuck up. Don't speak because I know everything. Instead of trying to make again, it was, I forget who brought it up, but it was like Captain Picard and Red Barkley.
Yeah.
Versus that short trek episode.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the short trek thing was because Picard tried to coach Barkley into being a better officer.
Yes.
This captain was just insulting on every level.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she didn't like the guy, so all she could do was, "Oh, you're an idiot! You're an idiot! You're an idiot!"
Right.
And they made him out to be an idiot, which is even fucking worse. You know.
I mean, that's another thing. Even if you're a mediocre officer, you should show a modicum of respect to the people under your command.
But even that,
she showed him no respect.
But even if you're an officer, like he still earned his position. It wasn't like he was handed to him. So he had to know something. You know, he had to be good at something. And instead of focus on what are you good at, I'm just gonna browbeat you and tell you you're a piece of shit at everything.
Yeah.
You know.
This conversation's over.
You know, like maybe
conversation over.
Yeah. Like maybe transfer him to maybe he likes fucking warp engines and he's a fucking prodigy. Why not have him focus there? Okay, we're gonna
Oh wait,
shift
they
you
had them
there.
end the conversations like Fez. I say good day to you, sir.
I see good day.
Yeah.
Say that
You
again.
know?
I say good day to you, sir.
Ah,
I said good day. I said good
You
day.
know,
Yes.
I say good day.
That, I said good day.
shit.
He tries to be tough, but he still sounds really girly.
Shit. Remember when they?
No, Fez. You're
Yeah.
supposed to.
But fucking what was it? What was the card today? Remember the it was in Voyager where they had everybody. They did it like an efficiency thing, and they only gave the guy like position, like he was working down in the manifold, where he was away from
yeah.
everybody, but he could do the job there. He loved it. Like he wanted that position.
Right. Janeway insisted on dragging him out of his shell, and
Oh yes, that's the one where they're all in the shuttle.
Yeah,
yeah.
but he even said like, look, my original stint here was to be a short stint till I went on to something else. However, I'm here now, and I prefer to be down here away from the planet. You know, I can do my job. Like no one complains about my job.
Right.
Like so, and I love it because I'm away from everybody. I don't have to talk to people. I'm antisocial for a
Meanwhile,
reason.
Janeway insisted on enforcing some sort of social behavior between her and the members of her crew.
Yeah, and there was the other one that didn't actually join Starfleet, but didn't actually want to be in space. They
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He
is it?
yeah, he was down. But he was good at his position.
Yep.
You're like, okay, I'm down here. I do my shift. When they need me to change something, when they need me to relieve somebody, I'm here instantly.
You notice how the only one that benefited from that episode was the female crew member.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember because I don't watch. I can't watch Voyager with the same frequency that I do the original series in DS9.
I'll just remember it.
I mean, that's a reason why I remember it because it's relevant to the argument. Like the way you treat your subordinates, and again, finding a position that he's great at. You know, oh, if I stick you here, you're a piece of shit and you can't do anything. But if I stick you over here with at Transporter Buffer 5 or Transporter Bay 5, you are a fucking genius. Okay, let's have you shift there. Like let's get you at the you're now Transporter Operator number 5.
Well,
Abby?
we do have to be honest. That is a thing, a pretty constant thing the military does. Hey, we found out this guy's really good at this one job, so we're gonna move him somewhere else.
What sense does that make?
Yeah, I don't know about the American military, but
It doesn't.
In the British Army, you quickly discover that they'll come across somebody who's incredibly good at say chemical warfare, so they'll decide to put them in the kitchens.
Yeah. Well, see, I
that's one thing to do with the
encountered a
chemical
situation-
warfare expert.
I encountered a situation where this is in private sector.
Mm-hmm.
I was in line to become the assistant manager at this restaurant, this
Okay.
pizza joint I worked at when I was younger.
Ready for another TFO, or
What?
you still doing shit?
I'm ready.
Yeah, go for it.
But I was in line to be assistant manager, and but the company didn't like to promote within the store. They like to promote someone and then move them to another location. And that is the dumbest thing because the way these restaurants were dispersed, some were in very rural areas, some were in very commercial areas, some were in very industrial areas, and there's just
It's
urban
amazing how
areas,
common that.
suburban areas. There's just a different demographic of customer, but the parent company didn't want to see that.
It's amazing how commonplace that is. That practice.
Yeah, it's a bad practice.
But
Number
even
one,
then,
look, I've been in this store for 6 years. I know the ins and outs of this store.
you know everybody that works there.
I know the customers. I know the employees. I know what works here and what doesn't. Why do you want to put me somewhere else where those skills no longer apply? That's foolhardy at best.
Or why you
Yeah,
want
it's not just the military.
or why you want to move
Why?
somebody that doesn't want to be here.
Right.
Like if they wanted to be here, they'd already be here. But you're moving somebody that doesn't want to be here. They don't know anybody. They don't know how the operation of the store. Like you could say one size fits all, but that's not entirely true. Like their stores operate differently. Mitch's store may always sell out of beans because the people love the beans. The other store that you're from, hamburgers were the main seller. Oh, well, I'm gonna make sure I stock extra hamburgers instead of extra beans.
Mitch's store always runs out of beans because he's eating them.
Because I'm eating them.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, but there's.
Might not know what you mean.
There's something else with the whole, promote laterally, promote diagonally to another location. I have got a long-standing philosophy about, management and supervision and everything. You get to know the people that you're working with, they get to know you. Now, this means that if you're going to be getting a promotion, you have to be a person who has actually earned that respect of your peers.
Yes.
Yep.
But which is better? To have it where the person who has earned the respect of their peers gets promoted to the next position up, or send them somewhere else completely unrelated, so that they're stuck with, hey, I just came in and I'm your boss because they said so, and nobody knows your worth.
No one knows who you are, yeah.
Yeah.
That can also times be disruptive for the customers themselves, because if you have people who have gotten to know their customers very well, they now have to retrain somebody to know who they're dealing with.
Or you
Yeah,
got,
and I forgot to say hello, Jen.
or you got the same issue we just discussed. All right, Mitch doesn't like the work of fries. He fucking hates working fries. But if you put him on beans, Mitch will fucking cook all day without complaint, without issue. But
that's what I keep trying to tell people at work.
But
it can also be something as simple as like Mitch really knows his customers very well. He has a couple that come in all the time who have a celiac disease. They're real, like they have the stomach version. It's not type. So he knows, okay, well, I have to do your stuff a little bit different. He might even know when they come in, so it's already pretty much on the go. Before they even sit down, he's already got their stuff on the go. They paid. That kind of customer service is stuff that people go out of their league for, and they do give you tips for that kind of shit. That's actually what tips are.
Shit.
It's you went like 100 miles past what you're supposed to for,
I did have a situation very much like that in that restaurant. There was a family where the mother and daughter had an allergy to tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So when we did a sauce on the pizza, it had to be super thin. Like you put the sauce on and then you wipe it off, and that's how much sauce they could handle.
Yeah, basically you need to have the sauce like just step into the room and step out.
Yes.
A tomato looked in another direction.
Yeah, a tomato looked at the crust, and then you could put cheese and everything else on your pizza.
Just show a picture
so
of a
it was
tomato.
a LaCroix pizza.
Kind of. But yeah, basically I knew who those customers were. They knew me on site because I'd been there for years, and I had dealt with their shit for years. And they annoyed the piss out of me, but they liked me because they knew that if I was behind that counter and taking their order, they knew that I would make sure it was right. And you want to give that up?
I'm actually in that situation right now. I can actually kind of explain that a little bit. I'm actually kind of doing the same exact situation. So I have been working at my job for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in August, at the end of August. And I have done both driving and front counter. I know how to do almost everything in the store except for like 2 things, right? And the only thing I'm not really very comfortable with is like helping people with their car problems, like changing light bulbs and stuff like that. I'm not comfortable doing that yet. Because I don't want to fuck something up and then it comes back on me, you know?
Right.
And there are people who will get hired and become a manager, or become someone who has got manager powers. I'm just gonna say manager powers. They're not actually, they're shift lead, essentially. And they'll get that 2 to 3 months in. Boom, 2 to 3 months in. And they will be the douchiest people on the planet. They will be lazy. They will be late. Huh? The douchiest people on the planet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They will be late consistently. They will basically not give a fuck what they do. They'll be on their phone all the time. Like, yeah, I'll be on my phone for like a split second, but I put it away. I'll put it away and then get something done.
Right.
I am on my job. Like, I am boom, boom, boom. I'm right there. I am doing my end of the night duties. I take trash out. I empty the Gaylord. I empty the, you know what that is, right? It's like a, yes, it is actually a thing. It is a box.
I know.
It's like a rubber plastic box that fits a lot of shit in it.
No,
yeah, you can give them metal or whatnot. They have them where I work as well.
Oh, I thought you lowered the game.
That's what they typically use for trash recycling.
Yeah, basically, essentially, and it has batteries in it. It's got rotors and it's got all kinds of stuff in it. So I'll be the one who.
See, ours doesn't have no batteries.
I'll empty out batteries. I will empty out the rotors. I'll make sure that it's empty completely before I leave.
Yo, Mr. Yes.
I'll make sure. I'll basically do everything at the end of the night. If I'm up there at the front counter, I am there to help people. I am there to get people out of the store, make them have a good day. Try to get what they need. Maybe a time or two I'll fuck up at something because they didn't give me the right information because I only know as much as you do.
Right.
Or you let me know.
You're only human.
Yeah, you only know what they tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, oh, what's the Tyr, what kind of car do you drive?
I don't drive.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Transit.
Mitch, what kind of car do you drive?
2005 Ford Taurus.
Tyr travels by witchcraft.
3.0.
Teleportation.
Actually, Tyr teleports. I was gonna say Tyr teleports. And okay, you drive a 2000 Ford Taurus.
2005.
2005 Ford Taurus. Do you know what your submodel is of your vehicle? Is it like an EX, an LX, an XD? What? You know,
That's actually the last car I owned. I want to say it was an XL, but
okay, that's
don't quote me.
But you see it everywhere that you drive. You see people's cars. You can see, oh, it's an XT, it's an EX,
well, yeah,
it's XL.
Yeah,
you see that that is what kind of vehicle, or do you know what your engine size is? Is it a
the engine was a 3-liter because the 3.8 from Ford was not the best thing to own.
Right. So that's good. That's the information. I will pull up everything for that vehicle.
Yep.
That comes up for that vehicle. If it's something like a bearing or if it's something like a wheel hub, those are harder to find. But I will sit there with you for like 10 to 15 minutes to find that part.
Yep.
I will sit there with you and look it up. I will do my Google Foo and look it up that much.
Google Foo, that's an interesting one.
Oh yeah, I mean I've worked in a parts department and in the service department of a new car dealership.
But see, that's the
I know
problem.
exactly what you're talking about. You need to be able to communicate in the ways of.
And I make people laugh at the same time. I will sit there and make people laugh.
Driver, you have to be able to translate the customer's complaint into a language that the technicians can understand.
Yes. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and I'm going to found this out, I absolutely hate mechanic jargon.
Say again?
Because mechanic jargon.
Oh. Yeah.
Mechanics will say something, and I'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is that? And I'll be like,
the technical term for it.
I'll be looking it up. I'll be looking up, and they're like, "Oh, it's a pigtail. Oh, it's a clamp, or it's whatever, right?"
Oh, they don't give
Almost
you the
as
actual like technical or not technical, like the actual technical name for it. Like when you would go into an auto parts store and you're like, "Hey, I need a dipstick," but it's actually not called a dipstick. It's like a fucking gearbox oil
It's a
thingamajig or something.
gearbox oil indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be
Thank
something
you.
completely different. Yes. And they're like, "Oh, I got the wrong thing." I'm like, "You gave me the wrong name for the term that you wanted. I gave you what you gave me."
It's like as
You
in like.
want to know how bad that really is?
I'm not trying to
I'll tell
monkey
how
paw
bad
you.
That really is when I worked at that Ford dealership, and you go to look up parts, they didn't name a part like a fuel pump. Everything was an assembly. A fuel pump assembly. A gas cap assembly.
Yeah, they do
So
that.
you're not trying to monkey paw them?
What's that?
I'm disappointed. I was saying you're not trying to monkey paw them. I'm disappointed.
Yes, I'm not trying to monkey paw this thing that you're
Or
giving
Mitch,
me. I'm actually trying to help
when
you.
I worked at the warehouse, everything was a SKU. Like you had to look at the SKU number.
Oh yeah.
So you
Yeah,
had to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too. I worked in warehouses. I know.
Yeah. So I had the. It wasn't essentially parts anymore. It was 3, 4, 5, 9. You know, and someone coming in doesn't know enough of the SKUs to go, what the fuck are you asking for?
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The people who engineered the parts for the Ford Motor Company, there were engineering numbers and part numbers, and they were different. And they used a different cataloging system. But after a while, the engineers stopped giving the parts part numbers.
And just use engineer numbers.
Yeah, without really laying that foundation for everyone to work out.
But after I've started seeing parts over time, I've started like collecting knowledge and seeing what that part is over time. I can look at a vehicle now and see, oh, where's this part go? That goes right here. That's what this is. That's your brake booster. It's right behind the steering wheel.
Critical has the shining for auto parts.
I did it at one point, and I don't anymore. It's been that long.
It's scary. I never thought working at an auto parts store I would actually have any fucking knowledge of going into it of vehicles. I did not.
Again, he has the shining.
No, the shitting.
I've never worked in an auto parts store. I've worked in warehousing and inventory. I've worked making auto parts.
They let cats work in auto parts making places. Like, god damn, were you chasing rats or something?
Because most of my job, I worked in the warehouse. It was a 1.5 man operation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was the one, because the other half was always out on delivery. And,
now I've got a silly question for you.
Yeah.
You said you were the one.
Yes.
Is that the one who was, the one who is, or the one who will be?
The one who is.
There can be only one.
And
one around.
It wasn't just it was shipping and receiving, and I also had to deal with everything at the front counter and in our attached body shop that was more back toward my area. Was one of my primary things to deal with when it come to parts.
Let me know when y'all ready for another.
Whenever you are.
And I was gonna. I got sidetracked what I was saying.
Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Right.
So I got sidetracked what I was saying. So I'm back
it is.
to the point where now
I was asking
I'm to the point now.
Yeah, I'm here. You guys were going at it, so I was like, wait.
Sorry, Jen.
No, you're good.
No,
We might be a little bit outside of Jen's wheelhouse at the moment.
A little bit out of my wheelhouse, actually. I'm not complaining.
Well,
neither's Jen.
You're learning something. You're learning something there, Rotten.
No, I'm not. I'm ignoring it.
the Tyr.
Nah,
It's,
control.
wasn't rodent control. It was sniffing out faulty hydro mounts.
Okay. All right, well,
No. Let me finish my thought here before I go on another wild tangent. So I'm dealing with that situation where my boss will like hire a new person who's only been there 2 to 3 months, and then this person is just the worst person, right? He'll start to like argue with other team leads about who's more in charge. He's doing that now. He's also consistently late, like consistently. She's had to talk to him several times about being late, and yet he had the fucking balls yesterday. Not yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? To call me lazy.
all right. So,
And I'm like, I will fucking rip your dreads out and beat the shit out of you if you call me lazy again.
wait a minute. All right,
You know,
so
back when I was a kid, well, you know, when I first started working. Oh, sorry, Tyr, didn't mean to talk over you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tyr.
No, I was saying, go ahead, go. Oh God, not this.
Oh, right.
This is the nicest, most passive-aggressive group ever.
Back when I started working, if you were consistently late, you'd get 2 verbal warnings, then a written warning, and if you were late again, you were shown the door.
Oh, you should be. He should have
They
been
just tell you to look at the door. Just
months ago.
see this door.
Yeah, from the outside.
But I understand that my manager. I can understand that she's a little bit she's lenient with us to an extent. Like, okay, you're late once or twice, no real big deal. She understands. Like, if you understand that if you get a messenger saying, hey, I'm gonna be late or whatever. But if you're consistently late all of the time, there's a problem there.
Mitch, you got kicked?
I walk to work almost every day.
I did.
It's a little bit worse for some areas in that regard. So we had a similar problem. We did have management that honestly didn't give a shit if people were a little bit late. I worked a really, really early morning shift. So if I knew I was going to be late just based off of, like, transit was kind of weird at the time too, I was calling ahead just so that they knew why I was going to be late. Because if something had happened, they're the first people that the police have to talk to.
Right.
So the idea that they don't give a shit that I'm late, yeah, that bothered me a lot when I would go into work. I'd be like, so, you know, we have fentanyl users on our trains at the moment. You don't want to know why I'm late? Like, you know, like, no nothing. No, okay.
Oh no, if you're stuck behind a train, I don't care.
All right,
but if you're constantly doing it, so that's a problem.
I will openly admit this. When I was younger, I was always late for my job, and there was a couple times where it looked a little dicey if I was going to keep that motherfucker. But I guess as you get older and you kind of you just stop wanting to be bothered. I'm early at my job all the fucking time. I'm not doing till 12:30. I'm there by 12.
Yeah, I got my first job in a factory. I was working the same factory as my dad, so I was always early because I was getting lifting off my dad. But you get in that habit of you getting early so you can relax after the journey to work.
Yep.
Which sets you up better for the day.
Well, I got even better because sometimes I'm in a position where I'm kind of like the lead of an area, so I need to know what's fucking going on before I even get there. Like,
right, if you were a lead, if you're a team lead, you should be on top of shit. You should be able to help people out. You should be able to be do not ignore every little issue. You got to be able to communicate well with people.
Yep.
And not be a dick about everything.
Yep.
The only thing I disagree with on that one is, like, if you need to know something, it's one, they should be able to communicate as well. But if they expect you to come in early, not clock in, get the lowdown on what's going on, then it's like all like slightly prepare shit and whatnot, and then clock in. Oh hell no, you ain't getting me for unpaid labor, bitch. That's like, hold on, hold on, just a second. It's like, because like at my job, there are several times they end up having to pay me for 15 minutes of overtime because if I'm like 2 minutes after 11, oh, dude, when I got to bring my paperwork up, I fucking saunter because I'm not clocking out till 7 after. Because then they got to pay me for freaking 15 minutes.
Well, yep. I have a better relationship with my bosses, so I don't mind. Like, again, I need to, like, if I'm a lead of the area for the day, I need to know what the fuck's going on. I need to know if a machine is down and who I'm working with, because there are some people I know hate doing a position. All right, I know how I'm going to treat this person because he hates doing this position, or he hates being with this person. So I'm gonna keep those two far apart as possible.
Yeah. Also, Tyr, I've also hated being on the front counter, and my boss, he knows this. She knows I hate being up there. But when I'm up there, I'm on it. Like, I'm helping customers. I'm helping, my coworkers. I'm doing what I can. I'm going back and forth between computers. I'm going back and forth between phones. I'm on shit. Like, I'm on a fucking roll.
Again, that's what
I'm still pretty happy for my job with the fact I'm very, very similar to how maintenance is. If it seems like I'm being lazy, it means the machines are running properly.
or when I'm being lazy, like we got massive amounts of downtime between flights, so I don't need to do shit.
Yeah. Well, no, ours is like quite literally for working in a factory. It's like if our mechanics or it's like our maintenance guys aren't working on something, and they're just kind of like standing around, it means the machines are running as they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason, there are senior leadership that just do not understand it. Like, why aren't the maintenance guys doing stuff? It's like, because shit's running, dumbass.
Yeah.
Leave it be.
Factory I worked at, I used to take the video of one of the, we would call them setters, because he was always sitting outdoors having a smoke, or he turned around and says, yeah, the thing is, when I'm working, there's something wrong. And other guys can't work.
Didn't you used to work in the chimney sweep? Didn't I see you in
That used to happen.
Don't sound jealous, Dave, just because when you started working, they hadn't invented chimneys yet.
Even if I hated a coworker, even if I absolutely despised a coworker, I will still work with them and help them when they need to.
Now, see again.
Yes, that's called professionalism.
Yeah.
Hey, we circled back to Star Trek with the professionalism. I'm pointing at myself in the mirror for no damn reason, like I'm actually having a conversation with you guys. It's always
which is something Riker didn't show to Jellicle.
That's great.
I also think it's a little bit harsh to start accusing you of being an extra in Mary Poppins, Batman. But you've conjured up the imagery.
I missed everything you said there, Jen.
That's great.
When I called him a chimney sweep, I said he was an extra in Mary Poppins.
Tia, you were Mary Poppins.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
That I can now confirm nor deny the fact that I may have at one point tried to be a Mary Poppins-like figure, but floating around on an umbrella as a skeleton usually gets you shot at and not welcome.
No, I didn't say a Mary Poppins-like figure. I said Mary Poppins.
No, it wasn't me.
No, see, here is the race-swapped Mary Poppins called Larry Poppins.
No,
by the way.
No,
Larry Poppins is played by a black guy.
It's either Lamar Poppins or
Actually, no, it isn't. With him being,
hold on.
Being an undead lich, it's actually Scary Poppins.
We all know Tyr's not Larry Poppins, or it's like Mary Poppins. He's definitely not like that well.
Exactly.
What do you mean? That's a horrible thing to say. Tyr's not liked at all.
Thank you.
You get in the game, Tyr's like Leroy
My statement stands.
Poppins.
Leroy Poppins.
You still got my chicken.
Perfect in every way.
God damn it! I hate this motherfucker going to this goddamn.
Here's a good question for you guys. What song is like visual, is like audio torture to your ears?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Baby fucking show.
Yeah.
That was too long to memorize, and I delete those.
Okay. One song. Okay, what is one song that comes on the radio, or if it automatically comes on, that you visibly, violently gag?
Or Superman, Laurie Anderson.
Anything by Lady Gaga.
Fair enough.
No, anything
See,
by
I'll give
Kelly.
Lady
No.
Gaga credit because she's got some great hooks in her songs, but oh god, I can't. It's been so long. Oh, anything by Nirvana. Fuck that band.
God damn.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll be
I can kind of
fair.
understand that too.
My mom was kind of into the Barbara Streisand Christmas stuff. I do have a bit of.
Oh God, that is horrible.
Excuse me while I get the matches in
I
gasoline.
almost feel forgiveness for Mariah because if Mariah crops up afterwards, I'm like, at least you're cleaning up something. Sorry, it's Barbara.
Damn.
Mariah's scary.
So it's a dirty mop. It's a dirty mop cleaning up another dirty mop.
Yeah.
One thing I really hate is the Mariah Carey Christmas song. Yeah, the monotone song. Yeah.
I haven't heard it in 4 years. I'm good.
All I want for Christmas.
I don't think I've got the cold. All I got for Christmas was flu.
I will visually throw up.
Guys, we're in the wrong month for that. The Christmas stuff doesn't come to July. That's the thing. It's Christmas in July, not Christmas in June.
You're right.
Yeah, it gets earlier every year.
There's one more song that feels like special year.
It's like 2 more weeks until Christmas.
Oh.
The person who came up with Christmas in July needs to be taken out and flogged in the town square.
No.
Well, here's one. Instead of going with the whole thing, what's a random song you probably haven't heard in a long time that will just randomly pop into your head?
Any song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You don't have a recurring one?
Surfing Bird.
Like he was talking to me. No, I don't have a.
I can't think actually.
That one always comes up. Yep.
Phenomena.
Yep.
Mine for like the past freaking 3 years has been Wild Thing by Tone Loc.
Wild Thing.
Not by the Trogs.
I prefer the Sam Kinison version.
Mild
Lace and a pretty face.
Ragmop, the
tail
Muppet version.
Hanging down.
That's the Big Bopper, wasn't it?
Ragmop.
Yep.
Ragmop. Ragmop.
There was this one time when I was working in a deli and I had to make a fruit tray and I was carrying the melons back. Yeah, I was carrying the melons back and all of a sudden I remembered a song from The Lion King.
Oh no.
Oh no.
One
Can
just
you feel the love?
No.
I got these coconuts sitting in a real big one.
That could have been worse. Could have been worse, Jen. Do you want to build a snowman?
Oh God.
Do you want to
that's
build
a
a
circle back.
Jeez, bad side.
Why does that
Or if you're arguing with a lefty, you could start singing, "Do you want to build a straw man?"
I like that one.
If you're
I'm gonna have the
arguing with
Mighty
a
Mighty
leftist,
Bosstones in my head. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
build a straw man.
Have you ever been close to tragedy or been close to one who has? Fucker.
Okay, so the song that makes
Well, I
me
never had to knock on wood.
son of a bitch, I can't keep this one out.
When I'm wide
Sorry.
open against the sunlight.
Do you want to build a straw man? Sounds like a
Son of a
prosecutor's theme song.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
See,
the song
sometimes
that
Damn it! Sorry, you go ahead. You first. I can wait.
I said
How
this like
dare
4
you.
times in a row now. Okay. So the song that I hate the most right now is the song by Ellie Goulding. Anybody who knows who that is?
Nope.
Nope.
I do, but I haven't heard her in such a long time that I think I only know
Ready for
one
another
song.
one?
She has one song that
Almost
plays
there.
on the radio 2 to 3 times a day where I work.
They'll
Because
do that.
apparently they can't change. Apparently we can't change the radio station because apparently
Alright.
that is they don't like the rock station.
Ready, bets.
Yep.
This song was one of my ex's favorite songs. She played it so damn much. I physically hate. I actually have to leave the room for I have to leave the area for a bit while that song plays because I physically cannot stand it.
Wow, you feel that currently about doing it in the butt? God damn.
It's the "Love Me Like You Do" by Ellie Goulding, and it was played in the fucking.
Love Me Like a
I
Jew.
believe it-
It'll get to yeah. It will yeah.
Love
I
Me
don't
Like a
dislike
Jew.
it. It's just a lot of those songs blend in with each other. Like if you were to play them all like in the same song, you realize why it all clicks together.
Hey, remember when we talked yesterday about them wanting to go to a formula? It's what they do in music as well.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
the whole
there's been a
entertainment
few
industry
videos on
is based on
YouTube
formulas.
about how modern music is getting worse and worse, and it's
Always
exactly
the same
because of
formula.
formula. It's getting the lyrics, the beat, and everything is getting more and more simplified and more earwormy.
Well, I would slightly argue with that one that it's not all of modern day music is getting bad. It's what's put out for the mainstream media of what's getting bad because
popular music.
Let's call it corporate music.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's corporate music.
You know, people
Formulaic
say
is
that.
bad.
People say, "Oh, modern music and like entertainment in general is mostly bad these days." Let's face it, it's always been mostly bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's also how the modern audience is geared towards viewing different music genres. Like I'm not picky about certain music. It's either I like you or I didn't. Like you could have been, a country singer. It really depends on the songs and your tempo. But
Look, if it slaps, it slaps.
That's just how it is.
That's
but
how I am with music. If I love it, I love it. I just
like. So I started rewatching some of the music cartoons because some of them aren't bad, but you realize like some of them like when I rethink of the sequel to the Trolls movie, and the entire time I think about both the rock trolls and the classic trolls.
Oh, okay. You're talking about that one, not Troll 2. Where like they're eating her, then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god!
Oh god, is that the one where?
I'm also
They're
not
eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
I'm also not knocking them for their talent because I enjoyed the movies. Like they weren't not talented. It's just when I got to the rock stuff, and yeah, I didn't listen to all rock, but I did listen to enough rock to know that a lot of the songs they were playing were a little bit slow. And I was like, did you listen to the originals again? Because a lot of Hollywood listens to remakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's like in the
when you're on about the troll movies, so you're on about those ones where they're basically Muppets using.
No,
the trolls.
Not Troll 2.
Yeah, not the ones that were supposed to be horror movies.
Yeah, because the first one of those I liked. It was a case of so bad it's good.
The other thing with the second one that really
Neilbog, it's just Goblin backwards.
So it was a constant theme in the second one to knock classic music, and so I'm not going to force classic down anybody's throat, but it's one of those things when you understand rock music, you understand a lot of those rock music people started off playing classic music.
Yeah.
Wait,
what most people don't realise is they do like classical music. They just don't realise that they've been listening to it for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying, Jen. You're saying that. Are you talking classic music or classical music? There's a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think I mean classical, but I do understand there is a bit of a difference. But like if you're talking about
watching Fantasia and getting hooked on a Night on Bald Mountain.
Yeah, it's more of like it's more of understanding that Queen started off learning from classic. Does that mean that their stuff is necessarily classic? No, but they have it in their music.
No, it's part of their
DNA.
It's part of Queen's DNA though. As a musical act.
It's just a lot of the old rock and in some of the current stuff, if you listen to it enough, still kind of has that. It's just a different way of doing it.
A lot of metal revolves around a classical music influence.
Yes, it does. 100%.
Shit.
Some, I can't remember which rock it is as well, is really, for a lot of the like rhythm guitar riffs, is just distorted, like almost like the Beach Boy style songs, where they would pluck the guitar. Like if you get rid of the distortion, it would sound like that. Well, heck, there's people that don't realize that ska is technically older than punk.
Oh god, I fucking hate ska.
Yeah, I knew that.
Hold on. What version of ska? Because ska doesn't always have horns in it, Tyr. No, that's actually a dead thing. Like ska was before punk, before reggae. Like ska got slowed down and turned into reggae.
Yep.
From some of the shit I was learning the other day.
What's
Most people, when they think of ska, though, they think of like horns. Stomp?
You think of like the what?
They're beating on like trash cans and fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on about American ska, right?
Oh, you're about stomp.
No, that's not ska. That's stomp.
Stomp is great.
That was a yeah. It was a particular thing that some people can do well and some people don't.
Alright, when I'm outside, I'm taking my walk. I don't want to be assaulted by you beating on fucking water cooler bottles like a fucking moron.
Oh yeah, you don't
when I
want to
think about ska music, I think of the likes. I think when I think of ska music, I think of the likes of Madness.
No, Stomp is absolutely amazing. The thought of a percussion group that makes music using no musical instruments whatsoever.
No.
Some people can do it.
Some musical instruments.
No. My argument, the reason why I don't like it, I'm outside, I'm walking, and my audio nerves are being assaulted by you banging on fucking trash cans and
Yes, Tyr, because like I said, there's a lot of people that can't do it well.
Yeah, if
like let's be honest, there's a lot of people that go through and think they're gonna be a really great rap artist or something, and they just sound like shit.
Or they just sound like everybody else.
Then you've not listened to Stomp. I mean, who else can play good music on a billboard?
Jesus Christ! I just look. I like classical. I like all music. My mother said this. You can only classify music one way, what you like and what you don't like. And I have no particular genre I'm a fan of. I found stuff that I like in every genre. I have tubi and throat singing on my playlist because I like tubi. This one tubi and throat singing song.
Oh yeah, every once in a while I go back to listening to Kenny Rogers, for Christ's sake, and I'm another guy.
I love The Gambler.
Kenny Rogers is a hell of a lyricist.
I also didn't bring up classic to emphasize it as it's like my pro-choice. Like, the reason I brought it up is because it's similar conversations I've had with artists about art. I don't think people should stick to doing classic art, but I do think they should understand classic art, because classic art is called techniques. It's the same with classic music. It's called techniques.
Oh,
okay, hold on.
And
okay, when you get into, hold on. When you get into art, you can always know depending on which school you go to, it's going to depend on who it is, based upon whether you're talking to Inquisitor or whether you're talking to THUR, because THUR gets pissed at anyone who wants to bring up architecture, because while it is art, they went to freaking school for it, so it's all they want to fucking talk about.
All right, I've learned that art is subjective.
There's another side. Oh, go on, Tyr.
Art is heavily subjective.
To a huge extent, yes, but let's face it, you still get good art, you still get bad art, you still get absolutely dog shit art.
Wiping your ass on a canvas. Literally wiping your ass on canvas. Yes, that could be classified as art. It's not good art.
Well, yeah, Tyr, that all came about because of a fucking CIA psyop.
Who are you laundering to?
Actually, you're wrong. It was because of the reticulin psyop.
The postmodern art.
Well, hold on. And it was because the West actually could not beat the USSR, the regular art, because again, it's one of those things where they're just going to stick someone into a position and tell them to fucking copy it until they get it right. So we had to show that we're so great because we can make art for the sake of art.
Well, yeah, nine.
I'd like to argue that one because it's been my observation that when any society becomes communist, all the creativity, originality, and ability to create art just disappears.
Yes, but I'm not saying that they were more creative. It's when you would look at the old thing of like painting a scene, because they would have someone go through, and that's all they would do is just paint scenes. They become excessively good at it. When they have that one person do it as a child, it's the same thing they would do with like a person using an instrument. Hey, congratulations, you now play the violin. I don't know what a violin is. It's this. You're gonna play it, or we're gonna kill you.
I mean, it's.
You don't have a choice.
They never say, but the Russians didn't have Bob Ross.
Happy little Bush fan.
The thing is, with any kind of art, it's very much like a language skill.
Yes.
And to develop a language skill, you have to know a lot of the foundational
principles,
concepts, and how to apply them. And that's.
I'm about to head to bed. I have to work in the morning.
All right.
Oh, all right. Rock on.
Later, Crit. See you later.
Hey,
while Bob Ross is a good entry point, Bob Ross is not great at developing that language skill aspect of what he's doing. At least with what he did on his show.
Well, yeah, well, Bob Ross wasn't trying to teach people that. He was trying to get people into painting so they could enjoy it and learn from it, so they could go through. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like you said, they could learn the other things, but also find out that they don't have to strictly go into that, and they can still enjoy it.
Right.
He also wasn't, strictly speaking, necessarily a classic art person either. Like, I know that sounds picky, but like you go to an art college and yeah, you might be drawing naked people sometimes. You might be drawing.
Hold on, Jen. Remember, we're all students of Throckmorton School for the Art.
Oh, that's true.
Yep, we're all students there.
You know.
The thing with that. Go ahead, Jen.
It's also other techniques, and it's stuff like that I honestly don't think that they really are teaching them. And it's stuff that I've had conversations with like my dad or like parents who have kids going to school. It's not just reading and writing that they're not really teaching them. And art is also a part of critical thinking. Yes. Because, even if you're learning like classic art, well, some of that is just learning how to measure things so that when you look at a scenic painting, the building in the background looks like a building in the background.
A perspective.
You're trying to measure the shape. Yeah, it is perspective. And so some of that is thinking. Like, you have to look at something long enough to think, are you seeing everything in the picture? We are really doing harm to kids, and I think it's noticeable in the music, it's noticeable in the art, because intelligent people express themselves with art. It's not just painting. Sometimes the engineer who's fucking bored will make something and realize that it's still art.
There's the interesting part about all of this is when it comes to education is, yeah, you got to teach them to read, you got to teach them to write, you got to teach them to math and whatnot, and you got to teach them history, and you got to teach them all that stuff. But the art part activates a different part of the brain,
the creative part.
And when your brain is more active, it's all much more gooder.
I already have trouble sleeping because my brain's hyperactive. I don't need more.
No, not hyperactive. That's a different thing. Because, hyperactive tends to be, that kind of hyperactivity, I think, is not across the entire brain. I'm talking about activating different parts of the brain and keeping the different parts active. It's very important because it helps you develop as a person. It helps you develop as a thinking being.
Mm-hmm.
As much as they tell you, you got to learn algebra because algebra helps you think. Yeah, so does fucking drawing a horse.
I actually want to be.
Because it
Here's the
activates a different part of your brain,
Mhm.
and the first part of your brain gets to relax and starts to self-inform in a way.
I also don't like I know some people do view like art that's meant to depict buildings and that kind of thing as being different, but I used to watch young men making really really nice pictures of cars. At no point did I never not think that that was not art. Yes, that can go towards advertisement. I'm not stupid, but the car looked beautiful. I don't drive. I don't know shit about cars from one to the other, but it's still a beautiful painting.
Right.
Yep. Commercial art. Commercial art is still art.
Funnily enough, I don't consider most of what I do art, but for the expansion of the technique and the way of thinking and everything, the first thing I do is take the color wheel and go trap shooting with it. I won't truck with that thing around here.
What?
I have no idea.
I hold no tolerance for the color wheel.
Okay. I mean, that's useful information to have, but you don't got to build your life around it.
Yeah, I have no tolerance for the color purple. It
It's a
insists
terrible
upon
movie.
itself.
It is a interesting movie.
It's a
Did
film.
we lose somebody? Oh no, we didn't.
No, I'm over at the shipyard doing a thing.
He's got to do a.
Oh, I was
going
gonna say, Critical had to go to sleep.
No,
he did.
You're talking about the game.
Yeah, I'm talking about the game.
I think the nodding dog butted.
Yeah.
Painting of a dragon tomorrow.
Where's Hippofrocus?
I was hoping that Angela would be here so I could make her read this horrible article that I fucking found.
You want me to read
Yes,
it?
I'm waiting.
Yes.
I mean, there's always tomorrow.
I'm
making
waiting for a
it
leftist
tomorrow, but I
role-playing game coming out.
What?
A proper leftist role-playing game. Dungeons and Drag Queens.
I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw the dumbest thing ever, and it was Anne Frank lesbian or bisexual?
No.
Who cares?
No. I think she was
Irrelevant.
13.
Yeah, she was 13.
She didn't know what she was yet. For Christ's sake, she could barely find her dick.
Well, that's because he'd been shot by the Germans.
nice one. But
Now I'm ready.
Apparently, Anne Frank hated cutting classes in schools because she couldn't stand the ovens.
It's one of those reality things with the people who will lean into like I'm not like offended by any of this. It's just she died starving to death in a concentration camp, and I'm like, I that's the thing I think about a lot when I'm starving to death: sex, but not escaping the thing that's causing me misery. No, just
but not
sex.
even that. She was a child.
Like, yeah, I know.
Like, it doesn't matter what she was. She was a child when she read her diaries and died.
Oh, I've got one for you.
Trying to normalize the sexualization of children.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all a bunch of degenerate sons of bitches.
I've got one for you on a kind of different subject. All these lefties have got all these piercings and that around the face and that. And they wear their kind of uniform, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was this Australian soap opera where it's on the it's relevant. This punk girl had convinced everybody in the class to turn up for class dressed in punk clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To embarrass and humiliate the headmaster who was taking the class. Apart from this one kid who, he's not going to do that because it's stupid. And the headmaster found out. So they've got this.
And he dresses in punk as well.
Yeah, because the first thing you see of him is this spike-gloved hand coming down and turning off the boombox. And he basically says to this girl, the only real reason you dress like that is because it causes offence and it shocks people and it gives some form of meaning to you an otherwise drab and boring existence. And that sums up just about everybody I know on the left. And it's
Yes,
sometimes even myself.
Well, no, it's that they hate themselves so very much, and they need to find something to feel good about. Oh, I'm a good.
Yeah.
It's them like they're constantly saying how they're a good person, they're a moral person. Good people never.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, like good people don't have to constantly tell people they're good people.
Yeah,
That's right.
I tell people I'm a dick.
It's the same as the badass. The guy who's a badass never has to.
Or the guy who
tell
tells you
anyone
he's an
about it,
alpha.
Never has to threaten anyone.
Like beware the rage of a quiet man.
Yep.
That's the rage you fear.
Because the first thing you know about that a quiet, the first way you know that a quiet man is angry is when your teeth go flying out of your mouth.
Yep, because you didn't expect him to be angry because he never gave you any sign or warnings that he was pissed. Beware the rage.
No, I gave them plenty of warning.
Yeah,
but that's another story.
But
I had to bite back my warning this week. Oh, that person was.
I thought you were going to give him a warning, not just out and out punch him. That was the warning.
Oh, why?
He wasn't trying to lose his job.
Yeah, no, that was that was why I didn't go off on the person and put her in her place. Decided that it was a good time and a good idea to lecture me on what experiencing loss is like, and maybe if I had experienced loss like other people have, they'd be
more sympathetic,
I'd be more understanding and more understanding and empathetic. Like, okay,
I put it to you like this:
your loss doesn't your loss doesn't allow me to go outside of guidelines. 2, your loss doesn't allow you to commit fraud. 3, okay, I've lost my dad, I've buried my wife, I lost most of my kids, I lost everything in a house fire, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. You really want to try me?
If you want to fight this in the Olympics, we can do this.
It's like during Brexit, young people in the UK were saying, "Oh, people voted for Brexit because they're afraid of change." You're an idiot.
No, it's not that they're afraid of change.
People over a certain age, their entire life has been change.
They remember how it used to be.
No, it's not just that. Yeah. I mean, we're not afraid of change. We might not like it, but we're not afraid of it and can put up with it, and will change things if necessary. We're not afraid of it.
And that's, as I'm pretty sure some of the older ones would say to the younger ones as well, like, you're just afraid of change. Remember, not every change is a good change.
Yeah. I mean, people of an older generation than mine have seen the world change in a lot more than I have. But I've seen the world change in more radical ways than younger people have.
I mean, you were around before computers became prevalent. Now computers are fucking everywhere.
Yep. You were around before that voice said, "Let there be light."
It's like technically I turned 39 this year, just like Tyr did earlier. I'm older than the internet.
Yeah, we are. We're literally older. We can remember a time before the internet.
I'm older than home computers.
Shit,
I'm not as old. Not as old.
What were you gonna say, Jen?
Well, it's just
Sorry, Jen.
I know it's not as old as Brexit, or maybe it is. I lose track on shit nowadays. But what we've really done, if we've let the left really uphold narcissists more than anything. Like, the first thing I think of right now is, Greta. Like, what a piece of shit. No offense, lady, but you're a piece of shit. I don't care. You're older now. I can say that.
Fuck, I can say no.
She is proof that mentally subnormal people are not angels.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, they're not.
No. She proves that the young don't know what the fuck they're doing. And
nor do they give a shit about it. Like any of the things that they claim to give a shit about, no, they fucking
not
don't.
An age thing.
I would say that young people generally do give a shit about what they claim to give a shit about, but that concern is
changes with the wind.
fleeting.
They
Yes.
give a shit about it. Changes with the wind. Like again, remember when Gaza was the thing to fight against? Now it's fucking first it was climate change. It was climate change, then became fucking Gaza, and somehow they merged Gaza and climate change, and now it's immigration, and now it's climate change, Gaza, and immigration all fused into one thing. Globalized intifada from Mexico to Gaza. What the fuck did the Jews got to do with fucking Mexico?
Oh, they're the secret cabal ruling the world. Hey, that's something I
can we
can't
deport the
understand.
illegals to Gaza?
It's something I
what
cannot.
we're dealing with is media whoring.
Yes.
No, it's something I honestly cannot understand with conspiracy theorists. There's this secret cabal, right, comprised of the people who actually do rule the world, who are trying to take over the world. How does that make any form of sense?
If they rule the world already, why would they need to take it over?
Yeah.
Well, the same as with the environmentalists. They need their boogeyman.
The thing that's actually hard to understand about most conspiracy theorists is how you can be like 37-0, 40-0, 50-0, and have people still think it's just a conspiracy.
Right.
There are a couple of easy questions to debunk a conspiracy. Right? How are they keeping it? How are they keeping it a secret? And who's profiting from it? And how are they profiting from it? And also, how the hell do you know if it's that good as well kept a secret?
Mitch made a point about they need the boogeyman. It was Rob Gavigan. He said this, and it's kind of true. It's like a firefighter. You don't want there to be a fire, but you kind of need fire to fucking, justify your existence. So maybe you set a house or two on ablaze. That's essentially what it is. You fucks need somebody to fight against. You can't. The world is so good. You can't find your the hate crime hoax.
Don't have strife.
You can't find
arsonist fire.
You can't find the windmill to tilt against that's legitimate.
Yeah, like it's like
arsonist firefighters are nothing new.
No, but I'm using the example of hate crime hoaxes. Oh, if racism is so fucking everywhere, if everyone is so fucking racist and racist crimes and racism happens every fucking day, why you gotta fake it? Why you gotta fake it?
Why do you have to keep? Yeah, why do you have to keep making
because
it
they
up?
don't have actual strife.
No, they don't.
Or they're lying and they're not there.
It comes down to supply and demand.
There's an insufficient supply of racism to meet their demand.
Quite literally, I shouldn't say quite literally, but almost quite literally, they're all Don Quixote running after a windmill thinking it's racism or thinking it's climate change.
Like everything that happens in the world. Oh, it's too hot today. Oh, it's climate change. It's proof that we need to stop using oil.
Or have any of you seen on the thing the American lefties who went to Egypt and they're like, we're going to march to Gaza. And Egypt was like, nah, fam, that ain't happening.
Yeah, you're not coming here. You're not doing that shit here.
Well, no. That quite literally, like quite a few of them, like they got their cell phones taken, their passports taken. Like they're basically being detained from what it sounds like, until they're going to be sent back.
Yeah, because Egypt isn't fucking America.
You can't do that. I've got rights. Not here, you do not.
It might. I actually think it's shameful that Egypt has to be the one to do it because, like, they have their own shit that they should be dealing with. They got their own problems. But
well,
maybe
like
some of these people should have a reality strike. It's.
Oh yeah, well that's like some of the ones that antagonize the cops in Nevada and end up getting basically their ass beat for, or the ones that are pissed off the one sheriff in Florida who's just like, hey, by the way, if you mob a vehicle, we're directing citizens to just drive through you if you're going to do that. If you like point a gun at cops or whatnot, like we will respond in kind to these things. Like your actions have consequences.
Respond in kind. He said we'll kill you.
Well, he said we'll kill you to certain things. Well, hold on, because he didn't say that to everything. He said if you punch us, it's like you'll probably end up in the hospital. Then you'll get arrested. If you spit on a police officer, you will go to the hospital. Then you will be arrested. He's like, but if you throw Molotov cocktails, you point a gun at someone, if you throw bricks at people, he's like, we will put you in the grave.
Deadly force. You use deadly force. You throw a rock at me.
And I have seen so many people like, oh my god, this is so fascist. It's like, you dumb motherfuckers have no idea what you're talking about, and you're not even listening to what they said.
It's also
there's a thing called instigating.
It's also
hold on, Batman.
Well, hold on, Jen.
Asman actually quoted it really well. I don't mean to follow the guy lately, but he's been calling out a lot of this shit in a way that is pretty brilliant. Because it's a gaslight to sit there and be like, you need to be moral about this is wrong, blah, 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 and then have a lack of compassion for what happens if you hit somebody with a rock.
Right.
Like, it's an absolute blank on their mind that they can be violent as fuck. This doesn't affect anybody. No, that's not how life works. I'm sorry. To a certain point, everyone defends themselves. That's also in human nature. That's also a part of human rights.
But see, the problem is...
to a certain degree.
Jen, see, you gotta remember, the problem is they don't view you as human.
No, they don't.
If you're not on that side... If you're not on their side...
I'm popping off for a moment.
Alright.
Right on.
Yeah, one of the... I forgot what I was going to say now.
But go ahead, Jen.
Well, that's kind of the point of what I'm making, though. Like, you can't sit there and ask me to be a moral person or to be above this shit or where's my kindness, where's my Christian nature, and then have a sociopathic nature towards everybody fucking else. I'm not buying it anymore.
If your notion of morality is that you should be allowed to attack me physically and with lethal force, and I'm not allowed to protect myself, let me tell you, your notion of morality does not check out. I have a moral obligation. I have a moral obligation to take steps to preserve my own life.
It's like, all right, so not too long ago, these kids broke into this man's house, and he fucking killed one. He killed one. They kicked in his door.
Actually, there's another one of those that happened pretty recently.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you got the one to where it was a black man that shot one white kid because while they were claiming they were doing a TikTok prank at 3 a.m. at his back door for Ding Dong Ditch.
Oh,
but no, there was also another one more recently to where because the person who ended up they broke into it was a veteran in his 70, I think he's a Vietnam, World War II or Vietnam, I can't remember exactly. No, it wasn't World War II, it was Vietnam veteran or something.
70-year-old man. Okay.
Yeah, 70-year-old man. He ends up shooting them. The parents are wanting to sue. The parents of the kid or the people that died wanting to sue because they were still technically kids. But it's like, why did they break into his house? And also, why the fuck were they armed?
I got one better for you.
Yeah.
Ages ago. This is one of the ones I'm bringing up. Ages ago, many fucking moons ago. This kid breaks into this old lady's house. Old lady flattens him with her shotgun. Wheelchair in her rocking chair, fucking plugs his ass. The mother of the child said, "Well, how else was he supposed to get his money?"
Yeah, that one was also one that happened pretty recent, or a similar thing that happened pretty recently as well, to where teenager, high schooler got shot for breaking into someone's house, and she's like, and the parents are like that. Well, how else is he supposed to get his bread for school, get his money? And it's just like, get a fucking job.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you take responsibility for raising a fucking moral?
How about you raise a kid who can withstand a job interview?
Or how you raise a kid?
How about you learn how? Well, say as you're a parent, why don't you learn how to withstand a job interview and get the money so you can give it to the kid?
That too. I've seen kids, and this is not a race thing, but I've seen kids who are raised so badly when they come in for a job interview, they don't sit properly in a chair. They lounge in it. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
I've seen kids show up and I say kids, I mean people these are men in their 20s.
Like physically,
show up
anyway.
A lot for a job interview, wearing cargo shorts and flip-flops. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because they're entitled.
Well, it depends on what. Yeah, it depends on what you're going into a job for. But like if you're somewhere down going to like get a job by the beach or whatnot, it'd make more sense. But restaurant,
Look,
no.
I went to a job interview to work in a kitchen wearing a suit and tie, for Christ's sake.
I went to a job interview wearing a suit and tie too.
Incidentally, I get the job. You know why I get the job? Because by dressing like that, I'm showing the business owner that I have respect not just for him, but for his business.
And yourself.
Yes.
Shit, I went to one job interview and I would dress properly, but I couldn't tie a tie properly. And the interviewer stopped in the middle of the interview and helped me to show me how to tie a tie. And he's like, you know what? I see you tried, but this is how you do it.
Well, yeah, that's just it. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to demonstrate that you have the respect to make the effort.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, kids just, no one's teaching them that shit anymore.
Nope. Lord, I think me and Rodden have entered our old man phase where we're going, these kids nowadays.
Actually,
I've been saying that for frickin' 10 years or more. So
I'm still of the opinion that the vast majority of the younger generation, if given half a chance, are pretty decent people.
Yeah,
they always have been. It's the minority. It's like it always is. It's a minority that they're given bad. Oh yes, and that's what I was going to say. They keep saying, "Oh, they're so fascist. Oh, you're just like Nazis." What they don't realise is, if it was so fascist and they were just like Nazis, they wouldn't be complaining because they'd be towing the line because they'd be too afraid to fucking complain.
If they
get shot.
if they got the communism they wanted, if they honestly got communism, everybody would just be painters, man. I'd sit around doing art. Oh fuck you, when you be in the mines.
Yep.
You be in the no they won't. You know why they won't? Because the first people to get shot in the fucking what the revolution is over are the revolutionaries.
Yep, the troublemakers.
The useful idiots.
Yep,
the brown
first
shirts.
people to go.
The brown shirts.
All right, I'm jumping out of the game because we're nearing the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You too will exit stage left.
I'm starting to fantasize about food.
Yeah, but like I said, like the first.
And not in a good way.
Oh Lord! But like I said, the first people to go are always the fucking useful idiots after the revolution has been fucking achieved.
Yep.
Well, it's
like
Hitler's
brown shirts.
If you take examples of like Chaz, they're not really useful for anything else. They can't really grow things. They can't really build shit. They burn it down.
Yeah.
The mines are the best you got.
Yeah,
did you say
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone?
You said Chavs, Jen?
Chaz.
They're not even useful in the revolution. They're the kind I've seen them. There's got to be a gang of them before they'll even pick on a wheelie bin.
Well, it's not even that. It's that they.
Just like that.
It's not even that. It's that they need strength in numbers, but even with the strength in numbers, they're still bitches.
Just like cops.
Yeah.
Quite a few of them.
Sorry, look. I don't believe in assaulting police officers. I really don't, because you just don't do that. And it's not about them being cops, it's about them being people.
Yes.
But there's denying the evidence in front of us that cops, just like all of these fucking commies out here, like soft targets and they like to overwhelm with numbers.
Yeah, that's everybody's preferred method, really.
And they think that they have a greater right to go home safe than you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they all have in common. No one wants to point it out. I'm going to point it out. As I said last night, Tyr, that's my job.
That's always the fun part if you have a discussion with a cop for something and they're like, "Well, I need you to do this for officer safety." Well, is that a law? Well, no, it's for officer safety. Well, no, I don't have to do this for officer safety.
Nope.
Here's one. If you could get an Antifa riot, right?
Yeah.
And you could somehow run it through a computer and make the Antifa look like a bunch of MAGA people and showed it to a bunch of Antifa supporters, they'd be going off the heads at the MAGA people, yeah, showing how fascist they are.
Yep.
And then show them what it really was. I
No.
think their minds would explode.
No.
No.
You just show them old folks. Just give them old folks of people like Biden. You remember how Biden once said, "Oh, I don't want my kids going to race the jungle," and you say, "Who said this? Trump or Biden? I don't want my kids in the race the jungle." Oh, that's definitely a Trump quote.
Like, what about that? I think it was New York. This bunch of Antifa thugs were forcing people in this open outside restaurant to say Black Lives Matter.
And they said he didn't say shit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the brown shirts were doing in pre-Nazi Germany.
Yes.
They become.
Oh yeah, there's another thing.
I think we probably ought to be wrapping this up since it's
yeah,
it's most likely been over 2 hours and everything.
Okay.
It's been about, yeah, that's close.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for coming out. Those that watch in the future, we will be back to our regular scheduled time on Monday night at 11 o'clock. Sanguine is back back next week. We are also doing the first Friday in July, which is the 4th. So we get to have a 4th of July party. I like that. So look forward to that. What else do I got for you guys? That's about it. Sorry for being a little late. I was double booked, so I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll never do that again. What else? That's about it. Anybody got anything they need to tell, say, want to do?
He won't do it again this month.
Yes, this
No,
month.
I actually thought that you knew that you had a stream. I just thought you forgot that you muted yourself.
No, he was helping out on the corner because he cooked the pizza.
No. Keith, I baked the cookies.
No, he was on the corner, all right, but he was wearing a skin tight leather mini skirt and had a pink poodle with him.
Ew. All right.
That's just a normal Thursday for him.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
And the ew thing is what your customers usually say when they see you.
True. All right. Thank you guys for coming out. Say goodbye to nice people.
Good night, everyone.
Later, everyone.
Go away.
Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. I know who I wanna take me home. I know who I wanna take me home. I know who I wanna take me home. Take me home. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.